Hey there guys, RZ here today. Today I'm going to be giving you guys a tour of my cruise ship called the RCL Overscaled. I've decided to give this cruise ship a name. I've recently been working on it a lot, doing live streams on it, and as I'm working on it, once we finish a deck or a big part of the ship, I'll do a tour on it because I just know that doing a full tour video will take hours to do, and so I'd rather do it in parts. And here we are in the engine room. So this is the area that I would like to start a cruise ship tour on. So yeah, we're close to the front of the ship right now. We're around the water filtration area inside of the engine room, and the engine room is completely done. So I'm able to tour it, and it is absolutely massive in just the engine room. Now, an engine room in a cruise ship is a big part of the cruise ship, but in this ship, it's a big part of the cruise ship, and it's just big in general. It's just a big area. So here we have this very long hallway, and the render distance will have a lot of trouble trying to render in just how much ship there is. Um, yeah, this engine room goes from front to the back of the ship entirely. So good luck render distance, but you are not going to render in this whole thing. So this is a hallway that allows you to access many areas in the engine room. And right at the front of the ship here, we have access into the water filtration plant on board the ship. So we have a lot of water tanks here, and the water looks absolutely gorgeous in these shaders. Also, I apologize for the game's performance, but there is a lot of stuff built, and the shaders being ran with all that stuff built is going to be a bit of an issue for my PC to handle, but hopefully you guys are able to hear me talk normally. You should. The audio recording is in a separate file from the video, so it shouldn't really matter what happens in the video. I just care about the audio, like, cutting out or something. So yeah, the water filtration plant. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 6 tanks. 6. We have 7 tanks. We have 7 tanks, and there are 2 little boxes here that the water will go into. This first tank here is like shit water. And it goes into this box and then comes out onto this one, and then it gets put into this box. And I guess some sort of chemicals get put into it, and then it goes out into here. And then it goes into the big boy tank right here in the middle of the ship. Right here. So, yeah. And kind of around the entire engine room, there's this hallway that goes around the entire ship. So this could be like a running track, really. This hallway right here, it goes around the entire engine room. And if we look out the window here, you could see there's just a huge room. Just an absolutely huge room with a bunch of random lines and patterns. That is a very big theme you will see throughout this engine room. Look up into the ceiling, you see there's a squiggle lines and a pattern there. It is my sort of concept with the entire engine room overall. Just because I want to take up space in here. Like, if the engine room had its walls all the way out to the actual wall of the ship, and the floor and ceiling with the same sort of thing, it would take way longer to build this engine room. So, you know, it takes up space, and you could really see that here. You could see how the ship's actual bow curve is right there. And that room is absolutely massive. I will get lost if I even go in there, so I won't, of course. So yeah, this hallway literally goes around the entire ship in the engine room, so that's really, really cool. We have a couple of windows out into the hallway here, and there's just one little door right there. We also have windows looking down into another pattern on the floor, but it is not easy to see, apparently. I guess the shaders make it too dark. Oh, you can see a little line right there, but that's basically it. The shader is really dark in this hallway, though, that's for sure. I do want to add lighting in this hallway, but that's probably a detail, like an afterthought, that I'll probably have to do later on in the ship's progress. Anyways, on either side of the ship here, we have a electrical management room. Now, the game's performance is really going to drop around this area of the engine room because there's a whole bunch of banners in this area that I have placed down. So let's go ahead and check out the management room, the electrical management room. There's a door at the bottom and the top sort of deck in the engine room. We'll go down here. And so we kind of get into this hallway system. But here is the electrical management room. And if I could please fly up. Please. Yep. Okay, finally. Bit hard when the game's a bit framey. Yes, so here is all of the electrical management here. We have 4 engines powering 2 boxes here. Or 4 engines on, either side, powering 4 boxes, I should say. And I kind of read into how cruise ships actually get their electrical power. And I've seen, like, engines do turbines or something, like turbine gas engines I've heard of. And they kind of, like, spin a rotor, and it creates heat, and it gets converted into electricity. So that's how that works. Probably a little bit of a lazy description there, but you know what? It's fine. So here we could see a very thick wire. It's just red, blue, yellow, and green. And it goes down there and doesn't really go much anywhere down there. So it just kind of ends at some point down there. So yeah. Anyways, on to show you what's causing all the lag. So on either side of the ship, I guess I'll say other side because everything on this side of the ship was pasted over to the other side over there. Like the middle point of the ship is the middle of this hallway right here, so only toward this side of all of these rooms. There is a whole bunch of offices in this area. So as you can see, we have an office full of banners right here. And they all have their own individual window into the ceiling of random patterns. I will go down, though, to show you the first floor, because it is a bit more brighter down there. The shader pack does kind of take away all that brightness. So here's a better viewing of it, because there's actual physical lights down here. But in these offices, you get a view of the floor below you, so that's pretty cool. But yes, there's a lot of banners in these offices here, and it's just only offices in this whole area, so I'm going to go ahead and bravely see that my game is just dropping in frames here. Bravely walk straight through all the banners. There's so many of them. So many, okay. Alright, so we've made it to this hallway right here. Goodness, I could get lost in the ship a little bit. If you didn't know the ship well, you could get lost in it, really. You would. I mean, when I get to building the next few decks here, we're going to get some serious issues on figuring out where I am. Well, not really, because I'm building the ship mostly, so you know. But any random person will get lost in the ship, for sure. So anyways, we're back in the hallway. And in here, we have a very big room in the cruise ship. This is a balance tank room. So here we have an entire diagram of the cruise ship, as you can see. I think it's really fancy, especially with that glowstone there. Very nice. It's a whole mini diagram of the entire cruise ship's exterior, as you can see. And right behind me, we have a absolutely massive water tank. So this entire thing, this building looking structure, that's all a water tank right there. And in real ships, they fill up these giant water tanks in real cruise ships to balance the ships out. And on this ship, the tank is absolutely massive. And we have a big visibility through the floor down here. You can see a lot down there with this giant glass floor. It's really, really beautiful with the shaders on. And in the tank, you even have these little tunnels that you can go into underneath all of the water that is inside of these tanks. And it's just a little way to get around. So, yeah. And what's right about us, you can see there's like water in there. So the tanks are half full. They're not full, but they are half full. I mean, it'd be a little more impressive to see them completely full or close to full, but they are just kind of half full right now. You can see the water line in there. It's just kind of sitting there doing its thing, looking beautiful in the shaders. So yeah, and on this side over here we have a little reading. This would be like a diagram to show you how much fuel you have, and this is just to show how much water is in the tank. So right now, it's sort of down there at that low level, but I mean, that's fine. You know, you can do whatever the hell you want in here. It doesn't really matter. And yeah. And what's right in there is a little control panel. We could just look through the glass here to see in. See a lot of seats in there. Stuff like that. if we go into this hallway, we're able to get in there by going into these stairs right here. And up here we are in the control panel room. So you could see the fuel reading right there. Make sure you could, like, you got a lot of levers here to, I guess, push water in and push it out. A lot of random controls that I really don't know what would do and stuff. We got these generators right here, I guess. I don't really know what they'd be for. Right here, there's a fountain thing. Let me grab a torch out so we could see some. Alright. Maybe I should hold out a torch so we could see a little better. So this right here is a fountain. It's like a fountain drink soda station. A vending machine. A vending machine, that's what I mean to say. That's what those are. It's my first vending machine I've ever built in Minecraft too. Look at that. Hate it or like it, that is my first design of a vending machine. So, first being used in this cruise ship. Alright. I guess I'll hold my torch out while we're walking around. So, you guys can, like, see what's around me. Maybe not. Maybe it's better to hold it without it, or... Nah, we'll hold it. So this is another hallway up here. We're just on the second floor, I guess. There's like 2 hallway systems just kind of above each other. But we'll go ahead and pop back down here, as we'll mostly be on this level of the engine room the entire time. So in here, we have another control room. This is the fuel tank control room. Yeah. Or engine control room. I don't think there's actually a control room for the engine. There sort of is, but really there isn't. So this is just the control room for all the tanks that hold all the fuel right above us there, or in front of us. So yeah, just a bunch of seats. There's a little relaxing area you could be over here. A couple of nice, comfy chairs. Sofas right here. The table in the middle. TV right there, looking very sick. And it's all over on the other side. We also have a big TV right here, but it's not a TV that you'd probably watch something on because you're pretty close to it. It's more of a TV that you'd view like the ship's diagram or something on, like a control center on a TV, I guess. Down here we have just a few controls, an electrical management area for all the tanks, I guess. There's like a good and bad reading over here, you know, like like we're in the green or yellow or orange or red, just kind of like that reading, kind of like the reading you'd see in some sort of audio program or something like that, you know, like you get louder and it gets into the red, or you know, you accelerate more in a car and it gets into red. That's what it's supposed to read. I don't really know what it is for, but it's a diagram. I have never actually been on a cruise ship in real life, so details and I mean, nobody's ever been in an engine room from what I know, but yeah, most of the stuff in here is like guesswork, so none of this could really be like passable as realistic, so yeah. And you can see we also have a couple of wires coming from the back of these panels here. If we go over here, you can see the wires, and you can actually like see them going through the floor there, and they actually do connect up to the tanks that are further into that area over there. So we've finally gotten through all of that in the hallway here. Everything on this side of the ship is the same exact thing. Here we have the whole control room, and it is very weird being over here because it's all mirrored. Also, all the doors are messed up because of World Edit. You can see they open like that now. But that's not much of an issue. So you're just basically the same exact thing over here. And it's like we've already been through a whole entire building, but now we're on the other side of it. You know, it's just crazy. But anyways, on into the next section of the engine room. This hallway comes to an end right here. So here we are in the big part of the engine room. So there are a lot of tanks in here. We have readings that say 75% fuel. Same on this side. I was gonna put an oil reading here, but there was just not enough room for it, so you know, but that's fine. And you can see all the wires coming from the control center connecting into the tanks here, but they only connect into these 2 tanks for whatever reason. Not meant to be realistic or anything, so you know. And there are a total of 20 fuel tanks, and I think like 2 of those 20 fuel tanks there's oil or something. Who knows? It's not meant to be realistic or anything. So yeah, I tried to make this engine room as structurally like realistic as I could. You know, adding beams everywhere, making sure that it's pretty structurally strong. And I think I managed that okay, but not perfectly. You can see the ceiling. It looks like it has a very muscular look. Like it looks like there's very strong beams going through in the ceiling. And in the middle here we have this very structural part of the ship here going through the middle. But it doesn't look like there's enough because, you know, throughout this whole area there's no beams here. There's no like beams right here or anything. There should be one, but there isn't. I would like to add them, but there is an issue with the engine room. It is very unsymmetrical. And I'll show you guys a few examples of what I mean. It's very unsymmetrical in here. So, yeah. Anyways, we finally reached our next part of the ship as we walked down this long hallway of just tanking areas, just a lot of tanks. We got a nice glass floor down here. And we have this building-looking structure right here, and this is like the main area of the engine room, or the way to get out of the engine room. The main, like, it's like an area that the crew can work out, or take a break, work out. They can like take a break here, take a little breather, you know. It's like it would be like the main, you know, area of a workplace where there's a lot of seats in here, so you can eat food. There's like a whole dining hall in here, and my little light design right there. See all the glowstone there. It is hidden though. You're gonna be seeing it from down here, or not flying, of course. Although whoever downloads this map will obviously have to fly. They can't walk through the entire ship. Yeah. So, we have a couple of seats over here. It's just all a whole dining area. I will head down here, though, to tour you the lower part of it. So, this is all just a lobby floor. There isn't anything other than just seating areas and little areas to chit-chat, I guess, about, Karen taking over, like, trying to ask the manager for whatever stupid shit that Karen has in store, I guess. You know, having a conversation with your friends down here, your coworkers. This is the area to do that in the engine room. And it's a very nice, I really love this area a whole lot. The floor pattern is very unusual. We have diorite, andesite, I think that's jungle planks, and we have wool. It's a very different floor pattern, but it actually looks kind of nice in here. It looks like a very big brick sort of texture or something like that. I don't know. But let me know what you guys think about it, because I think it looks absolutely fabulous. These little garden sort of areas here look very nice. Looks like a Japanese sort of thing. We also have a few bushes here along this wall. Very, very nice lobby sort of area. Anyways, time to head up. So we've been through this whole area, and now we go up to here. Now the ceiling gets really short. It gets really, really low. I wanted to fit in a couple of floors in this whole area, so, you know. Yep. Just a bunch of seating here. More seating. It kind of goes... It's basically just a bunch of seating in this whole floor here. So we'll go ahead and go up another floor. And then we get to the kitchen area here. So this is where you'd grab your food to go eat it. Yeah, a bunch of sinks, furnaces, refrigerators, things like that. Another lighting pattern there. Along with that there. These lighting patterns look very nice, especially up here. They just kind of fit in, you know. Fit in very, very well. Very nice. Very nice. And there isn't anything up these stairs. Actually, there is nothing right now. The ship is still being worked on, so we'll go up those stairs to tour another deck in a future episode once we finish that deck. The engine room is the only fully complete deck of the ship right now, so hold your horses, people. We're not going to go up there quite yet. I will, though, eventually. Actually, let me go back up real quick. We're going to go through this deck right here. So, moving on. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wow, I got myself lost. Look at that. I was about to go in the opposite direction. We need to go this way. So it didn't take me long to lose track of my, like, you know, direction. Alright. So this is the main part, I guess. There's a lot of main parts here in the engine room. But this is where all of the real power is stored. This is all of the engines, all of the muscular power in the cruise ship. And I don't know the numbers right now, but here they are on screen for like how much and how many for all these engines. So yeah, it is a lot of power, I believe. A lot. And we have these glass floors through here. This is an older part of the engine room. I kind of started the engine room here, so yeah. Remember when I was talking about how the engine room is a bit unsymmetrical? Well, we'll see that here in a second. So, I think these are like V22s or V24. I don't know how many Vs they have or whatever. But they are pretty big engines. Very big engine. So, yeah. And that's kind of all it is here, just a bunch of engines. I guess we'll go ahead and approach one singular engine to just kind of show you the whole design. So right here is an engine. It's got like an iron bar designed down here to make it look like it's lifted off the ground a little. Make it look like it's been bolted here, you know. Nothing's supposed to flow, it's just supposed to be functional and industrial. We have a bunch of like poles here. I guess I should have put some levers down, but I think that'd be a little bit of over detailing, you know. And that is a full one engine right there, and there are a lot of engines. And there's like, I think there's like 12 on one, so there's 12 or 24 engines in total actually. So there's that number I can give you, 24 engines, and I'll have to figure out the size after this video. So yeah. Anyways, so now we're approaching the very back of the engine room. It'll load in here. Wait for it a minute. I guess that's how far it'll load. So this is the very back of the cruise ship. So back here, it's just a bunch of making sure everything's all working out all right. And so I guess we'll go ahead and fly here. Load the rest of this ship in. Let's go. Jesus. So yeah, here is it's another management area. I guess this could be considered the ECR for the engine room in this ship. So yeah, because there is a little bit of control panels in this like hallway here. So up here you could just walk around for like the crew would probably check out like how the turbine here is doing for the propeller. There are 4 propellers on the ship at the moment. I'm planning to make a 3rd propeller in the middle, but that'll be done later. There's a lot of thick support beams in here. We got one there, one there, one there. This room is really empty, and I had to add some sort of support because if this was a real room, it'd collapse, of course. So, you know, we gotta add some structural realism to it. Even in Minecraft, it is very obviously not structurally capable of holding anything above it. So, you know, I had to add those beams in. And I think they look pretty nice. Very nice indeed. And on this whole, like, crew bridge right here, there's a little second level right here that you can get down lower. And just kind of walk around, make sure everything's all working. That's all this room really is for. And if I go back over here, fly down here to this little area, we can then get to this control center hallway. So you just make sure things are working here. That's all it is. And this hallway's pretty long. Yeah, pretty long hallway. And this is only the length of the rear of the ship. Like, this is, like, the body style of the ship changes, and it changes at the very beginning of this hallway right here. That's just how long only the rear of the ship is. That is insane. So, yeah. That is the engine room for the RCL Overscaled. Yeah. And I also decided that would be the name for this cruise ship, as I haven't really let out a name for the ship yet and haven't really put much thought into one. but that's the name I gave it because this ship is very scaled up and large. It is overscaled, you could say. So you know what, that name kind of fits it. I guess we'll go ahead and end our video here. If you guys enjoyed it, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe. This was just the engine room. I don't know how long this video was, but take that length and multiply it by 40, and that would be like a full tour video of this cruise ship. So anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye!